How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to World of Tanks. I hope you're having one awesome weekend already. I hope you are not being fooled too many times because it is April Fool's Day. And I have no jokes to you guys, sorry. Yeah, but anyways guys, I welcome you back to World of Tanks 9.18 test server, where we're testing out new things, and in today's episode I am going to show you upcoming tier 10 French light tank. Tier 10 light tank, yes, AMX 13105 with 105mm autoloader gun. 3 shells in the magazine, and let's take a look how this tank is going to perform. Let's see what is good about this tank, what is bad about this tank, and what I think about this tank. So, as always guys, at first let's take a look at specs. Let's see how this tank looks on the paper, while you are enjoying some gameplay action on the background, of course. I really do not want you guys to be bored to death over here with all those numbers. And after that I am going to show you how this tank looks with, or when it is fully upgraded, when it is fully equipped, consumables, and with really good crew. And after that, some gameplay action for you as well, gameplay commentary, I mean. So let's get going, and let's start with stock firepower with 100% crew without any equipment whatsoever. So this is, as the name says, 105mm gun, or this tank has 105mm gun. Average damage with one shot 390, average penetration 234. Now a lot of you guys said that when Wargaming is going to buff this gun, that this tank is going to be better than Badger 25T. In my opinion, this is so not true. It is really hard to beat Badger 25T, and even after all those light tanks over here, I believe Badger 25T is still the best light tank. Yes, I know it is medium tank, but it actually is the best light tank in the game. The best all-around tank in the game. Badger can easily one-clip this tank to death, but this tank cannot one-clip Badger to death, so yes, there is that. But let's move on. Rate of fire 5.65 rounds per minute. Traverse speed, turret traverse speed is actually really good, close to 40 degrees per second. Gun depression -8 degrees of gun depression, 12 degrees of gun elevation. Now this gun elevation is complete garbage because it has auto-loading system as a turret. 12 degrees is nothing special, but -8 degrees of gun depression is actually quite surprisingly awesome. So thumbs up from me. Stock reload time for full magazine is 26.43 seconds. Reload time between each shot is 2.73 seconds, exactly the same as on Badger 25T, for example. And number of shells, as I said before, is 3. Now guys, I have to say that I'm actually really happy that I started playing and I started covering those tier 10 light tanks to you from the Sandbox phase 2, or what was the phase when they released the tier 10 light tanks. So I am pretty much able to see the entire evolution of those light tanks. Do you remember how bad this tank at first was? It had something like 33-second reload time for full magazine, and gun handling wasn't that good as well. So from 33 seconds to 26.43 seconds, I believe this is pretty decent and pretty good buff for this tank and for this gun. It really needed one. It was one of the worst, if not, actually it was the worst tier 10 light tank at first. But after buffing its gun handling a little bit, mobility, and reload time, my god, this tank is actually one of my favorite tanks now, because I enjoy playing with AMX 1390 as well at the moment, and this tank is exactly like AMX 1390, but a little bit better in pretty much every single way, in my opinion. So let's move on. Aiming time 2.21 seconds, dispersion at 100 meters, aka accuracy, stock accuracy 0.38, and finally average damage per minute 2202. Now this tier 10 light tank has the lowest average DPM, but you know this is an autoloader, so we really cannot compare autoloaders DPM to standard vehicles DPM, because simply two different firing systems. For example, with this tank you are able to deal, how much is it, 3 times 390, 1170. You are able to deal 1170 damage in almost 5 seconds, because you can pull the trigger right away and it takes 5 more seconds, roughly 5 more seconds to empty your clip, and in 5 seconds 1170 damage done. You are not able to deal that amount of damage in 5 seconds with any other light tank. So yeah, this is difference between autoloader and standard guns. Standard guns have better average damage per minute, more consistent damage per minute, but this tank relies on burst damage in 1 versus 1 fights, for example. So let's move on. Survivability, hit points 1400, hull armor 50, 20, 15. As you can expect, this is French light tank, it doesn't have any armor whatsoever. Turret armor 40, 20, 20, but you can actually bounce stuff when you are extremely lucky, as with every single tank in this game. But you simply have to be lucky. But usually a rule of thumb is whatever can see you is able to penetrate you. Do not rely on your armor, rely on your mobility and your camouflage. And next up we have mobility. This tank is 16 tons heavy tank, engine power 600 horsepower engine, and this equals 37.5 power to weight ratio, aka horsepower per tons. And it is one of the lowest one among all the rest of the tier 10 medium tanks, light tanks. WZ-132-1 has a lower power to weight ratio, but 37.5 compared to all the rest of the tanks in the game, it is pretty beast. Top speed 68 kph, reverse speed 22, and tank traverse speed 41.72. Stock traverse speed on this tank is actually not huge fan compared to the T100 LT's traverse speed that has 58.41. Yeah, it has nothing. No traverse speed whatsoever. Next up we have concealment, and as this is a light tank, it has exactly the same concealment while it is moving or while it is stationary. Stock concealment with 100% crew 18.18, which is second best among all the rest of the light tanks, tier 10 light tanks I mean. T100 LT has the best concealment, but 18.18 is not too bad, because you can boost it through the roof with different equipment units, with food, camo, exterior camo, and with camo skills. And finally, stock view range 415 meters. Now I believe this tank started in the Sandbox server, I believe this tank started with 430 meter view range. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it started with 430, and every single tank actually got nerfed by view range. Except Sheridan. Sheridan has amazing 430 meters stock view range, which is crazy. But this is AMX 13105 on paper with stock stats, only 100% crew. And now, how this tank is going to look when you have super beast crew with brothers in arms, with situational awareness, with recon. Let's take a look. And of course my equipment units are ventilation, vertical stabs, and actually ventilation and vertical stabs are 100% in my equipment loadout, but I have been testing out different things. Camo net, for example, I have actually used what is it called, enhanced gun lane drive as well to boost my aiming time plus 10%. So with this equipment piece I'm able to get my aiming time down to 1.8 seconds. That allows me to take more snapshots, but well, I don't know if this is the best option. Anyways, you can always go for coated optics and binoculars. I really do not find much use for binoculars, because your stock view range is amazing, and your view range with my crew members, with my equipment and food, I'm running this tank with food as well, yes, is actually 478 meters without using coated optics or binoculars. So I believe I do not need to boost my view range more, and you can actually use a light spore liner as well, because you are really fast, you can actually ram stuff, so you can protect yourself from ramming. And new thing is that a light spore liner, or every single spore liner, is going to reduce your stun duration by 10%. So let's say you get stunned for 20 seconds, but you are going to be stunned for 18 seconds instead. And it is going to protect you from ramming and explosions, so double RT protection. But 2 of my equipment slots are filled with ventilation and vertical stabs 100%. And for the third slot I am doing some testing at the moment, so I'm running full APCR, no premium rounds needed. I believe you guys do not need it as well. It has decent enough penetration, 234. Actually, maybe you can run like 1 clip or 2 clips just for mouse and type 5. Just for 2 tanks in this game you can run few heat rounds as well, because at the moment on test server a lot of people are testing out type 5 and mouse as well. So with camo net, with camo skills, and with food, and of course with exterior camouflage, my concealment is 48.74 while I am stationary and 38.74 while I am moving. So pretty beast. And my firepower, I was able to get my DPM up to 2360, aiming time down to 2.02 seconds, accuracy 0.35, and reload time from 27 or 26.40 seconds to 24.28 seconds, which is really good. So yes, this is how beast my tank actually is with beast crew and equipment. And traverse speed, I was able to get my traverse speed up to 51.33 degrees per second. Yeah. But now I believe let's take a look at one super action-packed battle with this tank. See you on the battlefield. Believe it or not, but I had actually so many battles that I wanted to show you with this tank. It was really easy to get super awesome games, like 4000 damage games. I can say this was my average damage, almost my average damage, not quite, but you know what I mean. When I had decent game, when I had decent map or matchmaking, no problem getting 4000 damage done. And over here, it is actually, this battle is actually really awesome, because I am going to play around big boys like TVP, E100, and Mouse is going to be here soon as well. Now over here I know that TVP has a faster reload time between every single shot than I do, but I still decided to stay in action. I decided to bait out the shot maybe that TVP is going to miss, because I wanted to put my second shot in. I have higher alpha damage than TVP has. I have 390 and TVP has 320 if I remember correctly. And actually clip the damage potential, TVP's and AMX 13105's clip damage potential is almost the same. TVP has a little bit more with one clip. So let's see, once again we are back fighting. I believe that TVP was reloading as well, so we were both fully reloaded. I knew that I am able to miss one of my shots. Sadly I started with a miss, but now let's just put that shot into the TVP, 100% penetration and easy kill. And as you can see from the damage, 1800 damage done. AMX 13105 wins the fight with TVP. Okay, Mouse is stunned, so that means Mouse's turret rotation speed is a lot slower. I see my opportunity and I go in, and you can see that slow turning turret as well soon. Mouse is trying to turn his turret as hard as he can, but yes guys, use stunned targets. Mouse was stunned, I saw that, I used that. Super easy to get behind him. Mouse is a slow enough target already without being stunned, so it worked out. Second full damage clip into the Mouse, and we are almost at 3000 damage done already. E100, next target. E100 just took the shot, and what do you see? I spotted object 268, who bounced 263 shot at the moment. Now that E100 is actually a little bit scary. in this kind of position. I am not able to penetrate D100's turret. No chance. I do not have any premium rounds. I actually didn't carry any premium rounds while I was playing with this tank on the test server, and ooh, okay, no damage done, simply tracked that mouse. Most likely this guy is using large repair kit, so that U100 is out of repair kit for 60 more seconds. Is this guy really coming for me? And yes, he is, and of course I started reloading just before I saw our mouse from the minimap, so my lack of concentration, my lack of map awareness, I can say that. And now even more lack of map awareness, because JBZ E100 is behind me and I am focusing on object 268. At the moment I'm not taking the shot, I was waiting for reload time. Didn't happen, and boom, of course, JBZ E100 was able to put one nasty shell into me and killed me. Well, I didn't have much HP left anyways, but guys, can you see that from the top left corner? 728 damage done, heat. Even JPZ E100 is using heat ammunition on the server, but 4,500 damage done, 1111111 damage to my assistants. Overall, I really liked that battle because you were able to see how nimble this tank actually is, especially around super heavy tanks like E100 or a mouse, and actually versus TVP as well. So yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be your upcoming tier 10 French light tank AMX 13105 with 105mm autoloading gun. What do I think about this tank? Okay, now as I said before, when it first came out it was the worst tier 10 light tank in the game or on the Sandbox test server. But after all the tweaks and little tiny buffs and all that, I believe this is actually one of the most awesome light tanks to play with. Because I really like to play with Badget, I really like to play with AMX 1390, and this is like upgraded AMX 1390, a little bit more nimble Badget 25T that is not dealing as much damage with one clip, but still, yeah, this is really good all-around light tank actually. You can treat it as a spotter, as a scout, you can treat it as combat light tank, you can go in action, you can deal 1000, close to 1200 damage in almost 5 seconds, and you are out of the action already before your enemies are able to take their second shots. So yeah, I have to say I really do like it, and if you have AMX 1390 already, or maybe you are at AMX 1375 at the moment, keep grinding, this tank is definitely worth it, in my opinion. So yes, this was AMX 1390, I thank you for watching, I hope you are having the best weekend ever, continue resting, chilling, doing whatever you are doing at the moment. And I get you next time. Stay tuned for more action from 9.18 test server. Bye bye.